A US judge on Tuesday temporarily blocked part of the Trump administration's sweeping directive to pause federal loans, grants, and other financial assistance. In a Washington, D.C. federal court hearing, US District Judge Loren AliKhan ordered the White House to not block funding to existing programs until February 3rd, a win for advocacy groups who said the policy would be devastating. President Donald Trump's White House ordered billions of dollars of federal grants and loans to be frozen, which could disrupt education and healthcare programs, disaster relief, and other initiatives. Earlier on Tuesday, a coalition of attorneys general announced they would sue Trump's pause of federal funding. 6 states, including New York, Massachusetts, and California, said the lawsuit was meant to preserve essential funding for Americans. Here's California's Rob Banter.
We will not stand by while the president attempts to disrupt vital programs that feed our kids, provide medical care to our families, and support housing in our communities. We won't stand by while the president breaks the law and oversteps his authority as outlined in our Constitution, a Constitution he swore an oath to uphold just 1 week ago.
The acting head of the Office of Management and Budget, which oversees the federal budget, said the money would be put on hold to ensure it aligned with the president's priorities, including executive orders he signed ending diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts. New York Attorney General Letitia James said 20 states, including New York, were blocked from Medicaid's payment system, a public health insurance program for low-income people. The White House said Medicaid was exempted and no payments had been affected.
Well, by the terms of the executive order, it's 90 days, but it's important to understand that it's a review process to say that there's, for discretionary spending that's not directed by Congress or required by law. So this would be, for example, something like a contract to a non-governmental organization to teach, say, critical race theory, that there has to be a politically appointed individual in the departments or agencies who simply reviews and approves the expenditure so that we have control, democratic control over the operations of government. This doesn't affect any federal programs that Americans rely on, full stop. Any program, like a benefit program that Americans rely on.
Like Meals on Wheels.
Correct. There's no, the OMB guidance document, which I think you're referring to, because the executive order was issued a week ago, it just gives clarity on how to implement the original executive order, which doesn't cover any entitlement or public benefit spending at all. And that's clear, by the way, if you read, as I'm sure you have, the OMB guidance document. If I understand your question correctly, you're asking, should Europe consider mirroring our own policies?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely,
How?
Yes. Well, I mean, it's simple. I mean, you have to establish a policy that says that anyone who crosses the border is going to be immediately repatriated, that anyone in the country legally is subject to removal, of course prioritizing public safety and national security, as well as we've done, is a general matter, suspending refugee resettlement, which of course poses enormous burdens on local communities and populations. Look, it's the president's expectation that countries all across the world participate fully in the enforcement of immigration laws, and in particular in the repatriation of their own citizens. This is a basic international obligation the United States abides by, all developed nations abide by, and we expect all of the partner nations all throughout the region to abide by as well. And we've had incredibly productive conversations with, frankly, nations all across Latin America, led by Secretary of State Rubio, who, if I may say, has done an absolutely fabulous job